Hello there everyone, Oversoul here, doing something a little bit different from the norm, but as I start to slowly transition my YouTube channel into more media literate ventures, you can expect to see more stuff like this pop up as it becomes more and more the main focus and we transition away from the Let's Plays over the next couple years. But I'm coming at you today with a little bit of a think piece, because lately, I've found myself reflecting on how we, as a gaming community, arrived at a point where any game rated below a 9 out of 10 is automatically dismissed as subpar. As someone who grew up in the 90s, I still view the 10-point rating system much like academic grading. A 9 is an A, an 8 is a B, a 7 is a C, and so on. It's not until you reach a 5 or lower that you're truly entering failing territory. And yet, when a game receives a 7 or even an 8, it's often treated as a failure rather than what it truly is: solid, enjoyable, and competent, if not groundbreaking. This mentality informs how I approach reviews myself. You'll rarely see me rate a game lower than a 6, not because I'm overly generous, but because I tend to find enjoyment in most experiences. I think the lowest score I've ever given was a 4 out of 10 for Gollum, and even then, I felt I was being kind. But today I want to champion the often overlooked 7 out of 10 game, the video game equivalent of a popcorn flick. Not every title needs to be a masterpiece. Sometimes it's more than enough for a game to simply respect your time and deliver fun. Case in point, Avowed. Avowed is, for better or worse, a bare-bones RPG. To some, that's a flaw, but for me, it's a feature. These days, I appreciate games that are streamlined, respectful of my time, and designed to be completed rather than endlessly lived in. Now, here's where I'll say something potentially controversial. I believe Obsidian often outperforms Bethesda at making Bethesda-style RPGs. The Outer Worlds, for instance, takes clear inspiration from Fallout, but refines the experience with satire and personality-rich companions reminiscent of Mass Effect and Borderlands. Similarly, Avowed might feel mechanically similar to Skyrim, but it brings a narrative focus and character-driven structure more akin to BioWare's work. As a narrative-driven gamer, that appeals to me. Gameplay, in my case, is often just the bridge to the next story beat. That's not to say gameplay doesn't matter. I absolutely enjoy great mechanics, and titles like the Spider-Man series on PlayStation are a testament to how thrilling gameplay can elevate an experience. But if a game tells a compelling story or introduces characters I care about, I can overlook a certain level of mechanical mediocrity. And Avowed's gameplay is exactly that, mediocre, but in a good way. It's uncomplicated, accessible, and enjoyable. In a time when many top-tier games lean heavily into complex systems and emotionally taxing narratives, there's value in games that serve as palate cleansers. Not every game needs to be Expedition 33, a stunning work, but emotionally and mechanically demanding.
Lune, watch out!
This balance mirrors my love for horror films. I can appreciate deeply emotional works like Talk to Me or Late Night with the Devil, but I also love the campy carnage of Final Destination.
I've got my eye on you two.
Both are valid. Both are enjoyable in their own right. Similarly, rating them both an 8 out of 10 doesn't imply they are equal in execution. It simply means each succeeded within the scope of what they set out to do. Which brings me back to Avowed. My initial impression was Skyrim with fungal zombies, which honestly intrigued me. But what truly drew me in was meeting Kai, a companion voiced by the actor behind Garrus in Mass Effect. From there, I was hooked.
You need to find the ambassador, and I need to find Avatar. How's about we partner up?
Sure, the game has quirks. You can loot homes without consequence, which some might say breaks immersion, but for me, it was nostalgic. It reminded me of old school Final Fantasy and Zelda games. And while I value immersion, there's a point where realism begins to detract from escapism. The Last of Us Part 2, for example, is a brilliant game, but it was emotionally draining in a way that makes me hesitant to revisit it. Sometimes you really do need that ludonarrative dissonance.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself.
We need games that offer different experiences. Not every title has to be emotionally harrowing or mechanically dense. Sometimes you just want to feel powerful. That's why I switched Avowed to story mode difficulty, because suddenly I was no longer grinding for materials or struggling through spikes in difficulty. I was having pure, unadulterated fun, and is that not the whole point of video games? The companions were another highlight. Each of them started off rooted in familiar archetypes, but developed depth and charm as the story unfolded. Interactions were natural and unburdened by arbitrary relationship meters, which made the connections feel more authentic. Avowed doesn't punish you for exploring, experimenting, or making choices. And while there are impactful decisions, the game doesn't constantly loom over you with dire consequences. It gives players the freedom to enjoy the ride. That freedom also makes the game more accessible. In an era of 100-hour RPGs and punishing mechanics, Avowed is approachable for casual gamers, the elderly, and those with physical disabilities. Not everyone can get good, nor should they have to. Games like Expedition 33 are incredible, but their lack of accessibility options can alienate people who deserve the chance to enjoy their narratives. Avowed fills that gap. So no, Avowed isn't a game changer, it's not going to win Game of the Year, but it doesn't have to. It just needs to be good. And it is! Over the course of my playthrough, it grew from a 7 to a 7.5, and by the end, it felt like an 8. Not because it evolved into something greater, but because I understood exactly what it wanted to be and appreciated it for that. To close, I'll leave you with a metaphor. In Mario Party, there are mini-games where players anonymously choose numbers, and if multiple people pick the same one, no one wins. The best strategy? Sometimes it's choosing a middle number while everyone else fights over the top prize. The one who plays it safe walks away victorious. There's no shame in being a 7 out of 10. Sometimes that's exactly what we need. Thank you for indulging in my little think piece. I appreciate your patronage. If you are watching this on YouTube, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Feel free to agree, disagree, whatever, as long as you're civil about it. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to smash that like button. And if you're on Spotify, you can leave a comment down below. If you're on Apple Podcasts, I don't know how it works over there, but you can always email me at podcastoversoul@gmail.com as well. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful day.